While the main stories in the news yesterday were account after account of hysteria over anti-war protests and college students wanting the institutions that they pay their money to divest from arms traders, the real story barely got any coverage. I mean, what are these people protesting? They're protesting what's happening in Gaza. So what happened in Gaza? Well, they have found mass graves at both of the largest hospitals in the Gaza Strip. Both at Shifa Hospital, which is in Gaza City, that's the biggest hospital in Gaza, and the IDF has attacked it and invaded it a few times. And most recently, they were there for 2 weeks until they left on April 1st. And a mass grave was discovered there. And then in the south, in Khan Younis, at the second largest hospital in Gaza, at Nasser Hospital, they found 2 mass graves. Now, if a mass grave was discovered here, where we live, it would be the biggest story of the year. Never mind mass graves at hospitals. But that's what they've found. Most of the ground forces left a few weeks ago. And since then, people have been able to return to Khan Younis, which had been under heavy attack for months. And what they found at Nasser Hospital was 2 mass graves. And the people in these mass graves, my God, it's hard to even talk about, but there were people found stripped, blindfolded, hands tied behind their back and shot in the head. There were people found without heads. There were folks whose bodies were crushed to a pulp when they were run over by tanks while they were still alive. And they also found bodies without their organs. Bodies with their organs removed. That sounds really wild. But this is actually something that the Israelis have a history of doing to the Palestinians. And several years ago, one of the doctors, he leaked this information, and there was a minor scandal that we didn't really hear about in America, and they said that they'd stop doing that. But in Gaza, there keeps being more and more reports of the bodies of Palestinians with their organs taken. The level of evil is just unimaginable. So a lot of these bodies were clearly doctors still in their scrubs, executed. Many were patients. Some of the bodies still had IVs attached to them, catheters attached, casts, bandages. They found children with their hands tied behind their back, executed. Evidence of torture, bodies of women, the elderly. These were not fighters. These were patients, staff of the hospitals, and the many displaced people that thought maybe a hospital would be a place of safety, which of course it should be. So, yeah. Meanwhile, we just sent billions of dollars to Israel. The world doesn't make any sense. I don't know what to say, but because the story is not getting much attention, I did want to tell you guys about what's happening. So far at Nasser Hospital, the last body count I heard was 310, and they're still finding people. And it's very slow going, this process. Even though the ground forces have left, there are still drones all over the sky that can snipe you at any time, drop a bomb on you. So the people that are there, there's no fuel for the machinery. They're digging with their bare hands. Once word got out, Palestinians whose loved ones are missing rushed to the scene, trying to find out what happened to their family members to give them a dignified burial. The smell of death is everywhere. And I mean, imagine if on October 7th, Hamas had overrun an Israeli hospital. And when they left, this was found. Imagine what we would be talking about nonstop. And it kills me that when it's Palestinians, we're not hearing about it. And a lot of that is these stories are being buried because they are still trying to manufacture consent for this genocide to hide the worst atrocities from us. And as hard as it is to hear, we cannot look away. So, yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys what happened. They're still finding people. And, the Israelis had no comment and will investigate themselves forever. And then declare themselves innocent, as they always do. When the State Department was asked about this, they said, oh, well, we'll ask them to investigate. What needs to happen is an independent international investigation. These people cannot be trusted. They can't be trusted with anything. Never mind investigating themselves. But anyways, the reports that are coming out, the UN has people on the ground, as does Euromed Human Rights Monitor, which is one of the most reliable organizations that have people in Gaza and have been, I think, keeping the best numbers of what's going on. So it's still developing, but 200 days into this genocide, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And the most important thing that we can do is share this information. So if you want to share the video, I would appreciate it. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Help get the message out. I'm just trying to do something so I feel less helpless. And I hope that you are getting some useful information that you might not be getting anywhere else. So I'll keep making these. I'm still new at this, and I hope to get better. Thank you for watching. Much love and free Palestine.